Going on, people? This is the Cornerstone Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment, and share the content. So we got a repeat guest on the platform. What's going on, Chief Bullhead? What's going on, brother?
Hey,
Before we get right to
what's
it,
going on? What am?
good man. Before we get right to it, real quick, see you all can find us on the platforms on YouTube, Stitcher, Google Podcast, Spotify, and iTunes. Appreciate y'all support. So, so yeah, man. So you wanted to do some content regarding how to escape a crazy woman's domain, right? Is that
Yes,
correct?
indeed. Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Now, when you say escape her domain, are you saying as far as just escaping her residence or just her presence in general?
Okay, so what I want to let men know who are in abusive relationships that they've accepted for maybe too long, and it's time for them to go. And a lot of men don't know how to leave a woman's domain, meaning you've moved into her dwelling, you're paying the bills, but the lease is in her name, and you have no attachment to that lease, and you can walk away from a prison that some of these women keep men in because this happens. It happened to me. So my solution was 2 men in a truck. One of the best organizations I've ever had to hire to get me out of a prison that I was in this woman's house or apartment actually.
Okay. So
So
let me ask you this real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
Why why as a man were you living in her house? I mean, isn't like the better dynamic to be in your own castle, your own domain, so that you could call the shots? Like, why would a man subject himself to kind of like be under her rules?
So I had an experience that most people call mistakes, but it was an experience of not listening to older, mature men and not paying attention to what they were talking about when it comes to women. So I didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, even one time when I was a very young man, I had a pimp that saw me coming out of this older girl's house on Kimbark that was trying to have sex with me. And he told me, he said, the things you got to worry about these days with women is that they got the cash, their own car, and their own crib. And he said this for a reason. He told me, if she ain't got it, then you're going to be paying for it. So I made a mistake and I moved into a woman's house and tried to live by her rules. And trust me, when I say her rules, some of these women will actually sit there and tell you when you need to be at home. Like, I don't have a curfew anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you have women that tell a man like he's a dog, no, you're gonna be at home, so and so, so and so. So, but I tell you what, that two. Let me get back to this 2 men in a truck. I had to call them because it got to the point with this particular person that she was breaking my shit, and I can go back and look at movies. Everyone can remember. Uh, all those movies with the women that throw your clothes and all your stuff out on the sidewalk.
The most iconic view of that or scene is Waiting to Exhale when Angela Bassett did that to Michael Beach.
Yes,
Yeah.
waiting to exhale. Yes, hell, I was waiting to exhale too.
Now, how old were you when you was going through this particular experience?
I was damn, I was 29 years old.
Man, I mean, at 29, you had some experiences. I mean, you lived life in which you kind of like knew right from wrong, especially from that aspect. I mean, you shouldn't. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but at 29 years old, by that time, you should have your own place. You shouldn't be trying to shack up in some other woman's house, especially with this whole. Well, okay, when you were 29 years old, I mean, the
I
climate
know. Okay.
wasn't what it is today, but
No, but you got to understand. Look, I had my own place. I gave my place up to go move into her place.
still, still,
No, no, I'm saying,
you gave her
look,
the power.
look. I fucked up. All right.
Yeah.
I moved into a woman's house or apartment. She laid the ground rules. I
Okay.
wasn't. You
Describe
know
some
what?
ground rules.
The ground rule was where was you can't go out nowhere. You can't do nothing. You got to go to work and come back home like Archie Bunker.
Okay, just to keep it real now, like
I ain't
back
I
then,
ain't no Archie Bunker though, bro.
yeah, but back then when you were 29 years old, man, I mean, you was light skinned with the good hair. You was getting all the ladies, so of course she was worried about you being out late and possibly cheating on her.
Well, but I wasn't cheating on her.
Yeah, yeah, I know what I'm saying, but that's what she was probably thinking. Like, hey,
They look. Most women think that their man, just because he's out and not in their presence, that he's cheating on them.
not necessarily.
Look, trust me when
Not
I tell
necessarily.
you this. Okay, look. We doing real talk here. When women get back and they go talk and the guys are out, yeah, after a certain time, they start making that little text, hey baby, how's it going? They let you know, nigga, it's time to come home. Now, some dudes don't care. But when you got a 1 hour curfew from the time you leave work to come home, I'm like, damn, can a brother stop at the store and get a beer? Or can a brother stop and get some food? And no, I'm not stopping at the parking lot and jumping in some other chick's car and getting a 5 minute, amount of pleasure. Some women out here are so obsessive with their men that they run them off. And that's what she did. She ran me off.
Just all you
Okay.
got is 5 minutes.
I never spent no 5 minutes in no car. She ran me off, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
But at the same time, there were signs. Okay. And some guys don't understand those signs. So yeah, you start breaking somebody's shit when they breaking your stuff, it's time to leave. And you know what? That ain't the right moment when she breaking your stuff. You let her calm down because they do de-escalate eventually. They got to go to bed because they got to get up and go to work in the morning or whatever they got to do. They do escalate, but I'm talking about these women who have a rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she would be so enraged that I would just leave. I
So what's
have
the
to
time
leave
frame?
sometimes. Look,
So what's the time frame from when you moved in until you was fed up and moved out when you called 2 men in a truck?
mm, less than 6 months.
Okay.
And I actually married this woman too.
Well, wait.
Less than 6 months.
Okay, so when you moved out of your apartment and moved in with her, how long did it take for y'all to get married? As far as you moving into her place, like what was that time frame?
A week.
And how long have you known each other by the time you got married?
We knew each other. All right, so like I said, that was what 1990. That was 1999. No, 1998 was the marriage. 1999 is when I had to escape that prison. So, like I said, it wasn't. It wasn't. It might have been. It was less than a year. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And I mean, it got so bad to where not only did I just, I mean, and I was paying the bills. So I didn't have no money because I was paying the bills for those months. So basically, I gave my place up and I started paying her bills. So I didn't have no money left. So
Yeah.
I actually had to not pay rent 1 month just to get out of there so I wouldn't end up back in jail because this woman put me in jail. All right. Because it was like, I'm either going to be in her jail or I'm going to be in jail. And there's a lot of chicks out here that do that too. And I tell you what, that's really the biggest reason why I left her is because she put me in jail. She took that shit to the extreme. And
Now, as far as her putting you in jail, like how many times were law enforcement involved? As far as some coming over to the house, because whenever they come to the house, someone has to go to jail. And in
well,
most cases, it's the man because of this whole Duluth model.
okay, so
Once law enforcement is called to the house, then someone has to go.
okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I call cat and mouse games. And you know what? When a woman treats you like a mouse and she's the cat, it's time to leave, bro. Because I'm a dog. I ain't no damn mouse. So that was the problem. Because of her anger, because of things that happened in the past that she couldn't get over, she would become enraged sometimes and just start a fight at random. It'd be like snap. Okay, I'm gonna be mad. Or let's put it this way: if I came home on time, she would be nice. But if I didn't come back according to her clock, then she'd be nasty.
Yeah, man,
So,
it's
so I'm just
unfortunate.
saying.
It's
Right. I'm sorry.
unfortunate. I'm sorry, but it's unfortunate as far as like when y'all was in a heat of your relationship, as far as you moving in and everything, and her having those insecurities of you being out too late and her having a curfew for you. I mean, more than likely she has some type of trauma from previous relationships, and she never really resolved those. And I can imagine that maybe she never really sought out any mental health or any counseling to kind of like get through those hardships. So
Mm,
that's what the average person in our community pretty much go through. I mean, man or woman, we all
yeah.
know the stats about how our kids are kind of growing up in these single parent households in which there's no, for the most part, no male figure in the house. So there's no discipline, there's no accountability.
Well, see,
Kids
I
are
didn't
running.
have that. Look, I didn't have that issue because my children had their grandfathers around, so they had a male influence. It just wasn't me, and that wasn't my choice. But
No, I was talking on more in her case, and I was just trying to give like a macro explanation of as far as like traumas, as far as like both men and women pretty much go through life. We are walking through life as the Walking Dead. You know, we don't know how to practice conflict resolution.
yeah,
Thing,
it's a bit of it's a problem. But look, but let me get back to the topic real quick, okay? Two men in a truck. So when it gets so bad that you have to escape the wrath of the woman that you're living with, 2 minute truck will help you out. I called them on a Friday because I had enough. I had enough of the police being called and I had to go hide around the corner for an hour and a half because you don't want me in the house because you just can't stand looking at me. So you just call the police and say, you know what? Yeah, he put his hands on me and you better leave because if you don't leave, you go into jail
now, how many times was police called over though?
at least 4 or 5 times. It started becoming where I was being looked at as like a damn abusive husband when really you calling the police just because you can call the police. And I'm telling you, I finally got fed up with it. So one night I didn't leave and I went to jail. And I'm glad I went to jail that night because I deserved it because I was with someone who I didn't need to be with. And it took me to go back to jail or go to jail to realize that I was with the wrong person. And
Now,
when I
were you,
when I got out of jail, that's when I made my exit plan, young men. The 2 men in the truck exit plan. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. The 2 in a men truck exit plan.
now were you in active duty at the time?
No, I was a reservist.
Okay. And when those guys came over to help you move your stuff, like where she like out of the house for like a few hours, like at work or something, so that way you kind of like had time for them to come over, get your stuff, and then leave in a like a peaceful manner.
Okay, so like I said, here was my plan. So this woman micromanaged me so much that I would put my schedule of my main job on the refrigerator every month because I only worked there 3 days a week, but that was my bread and butter job. So I finally got smart enough to change the dates on some of the days that I worked because I want her to make it seem like I was going to work. And when she went to work, I did go to work and I called her from my job and I was like, "Hey, good morning. How you doing? I'm I got my first cup of coffee. That husband wife talk that you get, right before you get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Back then we didn't have cell phones, so you had to call somebody on a regular phone.
Yeah, from a
So
landline. Yep.
right, so I went to work because the caller ID had my work number on it. That was the okey doke.
Okay.
So in the meantime, on that Monday morning, she went to work. I confirmed she was at work, and I took my black ass and went and got McDonald's for these guys and fed them. And then 3 hours later, I was out of that prison.
So,
But I didn't wait until you know some guys will start trying to pack their stuff up in front of a woman. Man, most of the time they're not gonna let you leave, especially if you paying them bills. They can like, no, where you going? Or they'll call the police again and start another damn. Look, I was like, I'm done with this,
mm-hmm.
and I put my things in storage for 2 months and slept on a guy's couch that I knew for 2 months until I could save up enough money to go back to the same apartment complex that I moved out of, and then I started seeing my kids for 4 more years.
Mm.
But 2 minute truck saved my life. It probably saved a lot of people's lives. Because I'm telling you, when you in the house with somebody who's your enemy and they trying to destroy you, that ain't no joke. Call 2 men in a truck. They will save your ass, niggas.
Hey, when you called them, like, did you call them for like same day service, or like you kind of booked that appointment like days in advance?
So, like I said, it was a Thursday. I got the last call. I was like, I'm sick and tired of these phone calls at work. Don't come home tonight. I don't feel like seeing you. Where you gonna go? Go to your other baby mama's house. Okay. That Friday, I called 2 men in the truck. And I knew I couldn't move out that day. I knew I couldn't move out on the weekend. I had to wait. Like this was a military operation, bruh.
Yeah.
I had to put the map up on the refrigerator to make her seem like I was working that day, that I was off. I had to make sure that she took the kids to school and that she went to her job so I can go in there and get my things without all the drama, without all the bullshit, with all the damn police being called, with all the, all he's leaving me. And that's what supposedly how I abandoned my children. But I did it to save my life and to save theirs too.
Mm. So outside of the conflict, like as far as everything being hunky dory and things were good. I mean, was y'all relationship good? Like, did y'all have good communication? Were y'all like, did y'all have like a good sex life?
That's
Like,
the only thing that we had in common.
okay,
That was the only thing that we had in common,
mm,
which is something that no man should only have in common with a woman.
yeah, yeah. Sex could be used as a bargaining chip to kind of control a man, especially if he's living in her domain. Like I said earlier, man. I mean, if you like at least 25 years old, you should at least have your own apartment. You shouldn't be moving in some other woman's place where she was probably like, did she have her own career? Like, she had her own money, her own job, her own car, everything, right?
I mean, she had those things, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to spend her money. She wanted me to move in and spend my money.
I
Her
mean,
money was her money.
that's just a typical American marriage. The man's money is the household's money, and the woman's money is her money. So
Yeah, well, you know
that's
what they
common.
say, but you know what they say also though, when you bite the hand that feeds you, because she wanted me to feed her, and she kept on biting my hand, but she also, I mean, look, I I spent 29 years, 8 months, and 4 years in the Navy. I
Hmm.
ain't never. That's the only thing I ever abandoned ship from in my whole life. I had to actually abandon ship because I got on the wrong person's ship. And I'm telling you, when you have
That's the thing.
someone,
You wasn't a captain. You
no, I
wasn't a
was.
captain.
Look, I wasn't even a pirate in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a dog. Basically, I was a dog, and I got sick and tired of being treated like a dog and kicked around and being told what you can do and who you need to be with. Don't nobody deserve to be with nobody like that. Nobody.
Yeah.
And too many men these days are out here being abused by women, and they're accepting being a punching bag to a woman. And then you get the women up there, oh, he hit me. No, you want to spar with the punching bag. But we ain't punching bags. We got arms and legs. You know, I was trained in the martial arts. If you start fighting me, I'm going to fight you back. That's something that's automatic. That's something I've been trained to do since I was a young boy, and I had to because people used to try to take advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? But women, a lot of women, not all women, because I mean, there's a lot of beautiful women out here who are nice and everything else. I'm talking about all these women out here who like to put their hands on you and call you out your name, and just like Kevin Samuels be talking about, calling you gay and all these other stuff. Men are sick and tired of women treating them like punching bags and like peons and like dogs.
Hey, cuz, hold that thought. Just just to go on a lighter note, you in the ATL area. As of now, the Braves have won a World Series. They won 7-0. So congrats to the Braves.
Congratulations.
They beat those cheating Astros. I'm sure, like America, those casual baseball fans was those who did watch the World Series. I'm not sure about the ratings, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that most of America was rooting for the Braves, and they ended up pulling it off. They won the series 4-2.
And you know what? Good for them because they got robbed of the All-Star game, which I wanted to host here in Atlanta to the family and do tailgate and actually go to the stadium. And because of some politics, they took that away. But they still got their shining tonight. They World Series champions again.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, it was those black politicians that kind of spoiled it for y'all, like Stacey Abrams and Keisha Lance Bottoms. They got too woke and wanted the All Star game to be away from Atlanta. I believe Denver hosted the All Star game.
But the stadium isn't really technically in Atlanta anymore. So if it would have been in the city of Atlanta, at the old stadium, that would have been a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
But they're out here in Cobb County now, and so they're not getting that money. They're not getting that tax money no more. So that's another reason why they don't care about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people need to wake up. All these politicians, they don't care about you. They care about them dollars, and they ain't making them dollars no more. And they out here in Cobb County. We paying taxes for that shit out here now too. So you can complain all you want to, but our taxes just went up. So I'm paying for that stadium whether I like it or not. So I go to the games. Plus, it's not far from the crib. But anyway, you
Hey,
know what I'm saying?
hey, how you get tickets for the Game 5 for the World Series?
I looked online. Man, those tickets were $1,200.
So someone gave you tickets?
No, I didn't get no tickets. I went to the Battery. Like I went up there a couple times. For the last championship game that they won. I was there for that, and I
Mm-hmm.
went to game 4, which was Sunday.
What's the Battery?
The Battery is the Battery's an area outside of the stadium, and they have a bunch of restaurants and bars and entertainment,
Or
and they
like
actually
a concourse, like a concourse near the stadium, right?
what's the best way I can explain it, man? So as far as Chicago things, um, you know what? It'd be like Rush Street and uh, where they
Also, also the Battery is like a strip, right? As far as like
it's
a
a
street.
strip,
Oh, okay,
right? But it falls into the stadium.
okay.
So like, and it's like, you know what? Actually, I was just watching this on CNN earlier, and they were saying that Brave Stadium is one of the top 10 stadiums considered now in the United States as far as how it's built and how it's set up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like the Bears are going to be moving out to Arlington Heights. The Bears have bought the Arlington racetrack, like that like strip of land out there.
Oh wow.
So it looks like a stadium's going to get built out there. I'm not sure. I mean, it should be a dome, I guess, so that way we can host the Super Bowl. But it
Right.
looks like the field is going to be in his last years for the Bears. They're
so
not moving to the northwest side.
so I mean, are they going to knock it down?
I doubt it because Soldier Field is a landmark. So what they may do is just take off that spaceship looking structure that's on top
Right.
of the stadium.
Right. Right.
I can imagine them doing that, but yeah, they won't tear down Soldier Field.
You know what? It's so funny that we're talking about that because I actually met Rahm Emanuel on Veterans Day. I believe it was 2009 or 2010, and we were talking, and you know how you're talking, you're looking at somebody, and they know you want to say something, and they say, what's on your mind, and that's exactly what it was with me and Rahm Emanuel. I looked over him and I wanted to say something to him. He was like, "No, so what's up?" And I said, "Mr. Mayor," I said, "if you really want to put Chicago on the map right now, I said you should put, I said you should hold you we should host the Army Navy game at Soldier Field." And he looked at me and he said, "Wow." He said, "What made you think of that?" I said, "Look at it's Soldier Field." I said, it's a monument already. I said, bring a great game to the city of Chicago. I was like, everyone would love it.
Did it happen?
No, it didn't happen. But it was a good idea though. At least I thought so.
Hmm.
Can you imagine the Army Navy game being and this was at Soldier Field before they did the upgrades. Well, they
Uh,
had did some upgrades, but not all the total upgrades.
I mean, Soldier Field, as we see it today, that was renovated back in 2004.
Right.
So it was upgraded. It was
Right. But
upgraded by then.
right. But all I'm saying is, here, I'm trying to really get him to embrace Chicago as a first class city, to do something that the president of the United States could have made happen, because he was the president of the United States right at the time. And
Oh,
the
Barry.
army,
Oh, Barry, huh?
yeah.
Barry.
So
Okay.
yeah, he was president. So you know, I don't know if he mentioned it to him or not, but all I know is I was like, yeah, bring the Army Navy game here. Now we're, me and a couple of my, associates, fellow chiefs, we were not dressed blues then, and we took pictures with them, along with matter of fact, I forgot we got a picture with Senator Durbin.
Okay.
So we went to this, we went to Soldier Field, like I said, it was a Veteran Day event. Um, one of the big one of the biggest agenda during this, because they had congressmen and people from all over Washington that was there, but they were talking about the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" repeal and how they changed it and how great it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't necessarily agree with that, but for a lot of reasons that people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand how much rape happens in the military, and they don't know
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, there's a lot of incidences of male on male rape in the military that they don't really talk about, and it's a problem, and they're not doing anything about it. They talk about it, but they're not doing anything about it. Like, people are not being punished for raping each other in the military. So it's kind of hard to have a lot of camaraderie and good order and discipline when you don't know if the guy next to you or the girl is trying to sexually harass or assault you or rape you. You know, and it's just getting worse. And I think that awareness for it needs to come out. It really does.
Now, is this the vantage point back in 2009 when you met Rahm Emanuel, or did this lead up to when you retired just a couple years ago?
I mean, so like I said, that matter of fact, that was right around the same time for the the second the second campaign, the second presidential campaign. So and that was a big uh, voting point for a lot of people in the LGBT community. You know, that was your landslide in America for his second presidency.
Yeah,
By
his
I mean,
mandate. Yes, his mandate was to kind of take care of whatever LGBTQ issues that was out on the docket, and he pretty much kind of capitulated to whatever they wanted. So I mean, they actually had him on some magazine calling him the first gay president.
um, I don't have a comment about that, but
I mean, not no, I'm saying like not
no,
saying that he's
I'm
gay
just
per
joking.
se, but saying that because he pretty much was like a gay friendly president, they pretty much kind of took him under their wing, like, hey, he's one of us. He's the first gay president. So I mean, that's what that kind of meant.
And exactly, you're right. He is, just like Bill Clinton was the first black president.
You niggas fell for him.
Yeah. So
You
no, so
niggas
you're
fell for
right. So you know what? I'm glad. So look, let's make this official. Barack Obama is the first gay president of the United States.
him.
Just like Bill Clinton was the first black president of the United States.
Yep.
Plenty of black folks loved him and called him. It gets me. You know, he played the saxophone on
Arsenio Hall show.
Arsenio Hall show. Everybody loved him. He had other sexual scandals before he got into the White House when he was the governor of Arkansas. I mean, look, These people don't care. They don't care.
I
They
mean,
just, you know what? They just look. They use people and just keep on moving on.
like when it comes to Clinton, right? As far as the deviant behavior that he was doing, why did black folks kind of latch onto that and say, "Hey, he's black, he's one of us." Just because he smoked weed and just because he had fellatio in the Oval Office. I mean, I'm pretty sure most presidents have done that. But the fact that
Okay,
he got caught,
okay. Now,
now I want to say yes, he's one of us now.
okay, but I will say this: he did, he did the okey doke. They did the okey doke. They put a lot of black people in positions of power, right? Jesse Brown being one of them. A lot of other black prominent politicians and business people. He put them in power, and see that's the problem with you know what that's the problem with the poor black class. They see black people doing better and they think they doing better too. No, you're not. They left you behind, and you praise them because they look good, just like they do entertainers. You know, everybody didn't know Michael Jackson, but everybody cried when he died. People need to stop praising these people. These people are not your friends. They don't love you. They laugh at you when they throw the scraps at you. And right now right now they're trimming the fat off the scraps up at the Senate and the Congress. And they're gonna give you $1,200, $1,700. They're gonna give you the scraps. So
Mm.
y'all still slaves, still eating chitlins from from Washington D.C. I hope you enjoy the little scraps that you get, and then they're gonna kick half y'all out of your damn places on Section 8 because they're not gonna pay the bills no more.
Yeah, man, it's a shame that like since the election last year, um, where like Democrats winning the White House and the Senate and the House. I mean, they were kind of like forced or mandated to deliver on something, and now we got the midterms coming up next year, and like the Democrats haven't really did anything to like help people.
They haven't. But I tell you who has been helping people. They've been helping them. Everybody down in South America. You know, I watched a speech that Kamala Harris had, and she was talking about how they were going to give billions of dollars to South American countries for women to not come here. They're going to pay them not to come here. So they're going to set up shop down there and give them money and start businesses down there with our tax money, right?
Hmm.
Male and female tax money. Everything that is on her agenda talks about women and women empowerment. She ain't trying to help no men.
Especially black man.
She ain't trying to help no men. All she talks is about women, 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 women.
I mean, she's playing into that identity politics. I mean, that's what she's there for. For
Right.
the for
Well,
the women of color vote.
right. So, but see, and that's the okey doke again. Once again,
Hmm.
that's the okey doke again. You know, we're talking about somebody who wants to support Planned Parenthood, right? The Planned Parenthood should start at home, where we teach our kids not to have sex and not to get pregnant, or have safe sex at least, instead of having Planned Parenthood, which is going to go get a DNC. A lot of people don't even know what a DNC is. Matter of fact, look it up. I ain't even gonna tell you what it is. A
Actually,
DNC.
what does DNC mean?
Your listeners gonna have to look it up. It's called a DNC.
I don't know what it means. So like,
That's all right. You can look it up too.
you
Look,
gonna give me homework, man?
no, it's not homework for you. It's for your listeners.
Okay.
They need to know what it is. They need to look up what a DNC is, and you can look it up on YouTube, and it will show you exactly what a DNC is. All right.
So let me look it up now. You said DNC.
Yeah. They don't talk about those things. You know, when you got all these people, or women running around talking about they want to get an abortion.
Now, do you have any theories on why the abortion topic is getting very hot as far as these states pretty much kind of getting rid of it? Like, what's your theory on that?
You know, this is for the black people of this country who just don't get it. This country was created for you to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different in slavery now. You ain't got the chains no more because they got it programmed mentally, so they don't need the chains no more. Once you train a dog gonna do what you tell them to do most of the time until they die.
So
So
what
that's the problem.
you
They
you calling niggas dogs now?
they call us dogs. They've always treated us like dogs.
Okay,
The system treats us like dogs, or like cattle, or like sheep. They're the
but
lions. They're the lions, and a lot of us are the sheep.
I mean, I won't go that far, man. Like in 2021, I think they're beyond race. I mean, everything is about class. I mean, do you have access to get certain things? Like, if you're like middle to upper middle class, then chances are, I mean, you're kind of immune from like certain type of um like oppressions or disenfranchisements. So, but
Well,
if you're like poor, poverty, like working class, then chances are, yeah, you will feel the brunt of like the bad things that could kind of like be passed down for like people to feel that type of to like feel that type of energy. Like, hey, I mean, like for me, I mean, thank God that I don't gotta um experience those type of things, but I mean, stuff that I kind of like did like in my 20s to kind of position me into my 40s now. I mean, I don't have to feel that type of pain like that. You
right.
know what I'm
Well, right. Look. Let me just throw this in here real quick before I forget about it.
saying? Okay.
McDonald's is like slavery. Let me explain. Back in the day, when you had McDonald's, and the minimum wage was $3.35. I want to say in 1984, that's when I went to high school, and the minimum wage was about 3.35.
In 97, it was 425. That's when I worked there. 97.
Okay, okay, and you worked at McDonald's, right?
Yep.
So now they want $15 an hour for their employees, or the employees want that.
Yeah.
The masters don't. The employees have been saying that, and finally the masters are saying, okay, you know why? Because now they like sharecroppers. Now you sharecropping at fucking McDonald's. They got a McDonald's here in Dallas, Georgia, that is paying $22 an hour because they are losing business because they don't have enough people to flip burgers. So now they're sharecropping at McDonald's. It used to be slavery back in the day, 335. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
get no benefits. You ain't had no insurance. Hell, you made 90 fucking dollars a week in 1984. For a kid, that was a lot of money, but that ain't no money.
Yeah, for a grown adult trying to support
Right,
kids, then yes,
right,
that's not a living
right.
wage.
That's like being a slave. That's slave wages. So now we got sharecropping wages. 15, $22 an hour at McDonald's. Everybody's talking about they want a bigger wage. The corporations are only doing it because they're going to fall if they don't sell these goddamn nasty, will kill you burgers. People are dying over these fucking burgers, and people are dying to serve them to people.
Yeah,
It's
but
sharecropping.
I mean, it's all about choice. I mean, those people still got a choice whether they want to work there or not, and the consumer still got a choice whether they want to patron at that establishment. So we all got choices in 2021.
Right. But man, I made the mistake of trying to buy a trying a double cheeseburger about 4 months ago.
Bad mistake.
Oh my God. It's not the same double cheeseburger you used to get, you know, 5 years ago.
Can
And
can you believe I haven't eaten McDonald's in at least 15 years?
well, good for you. And that's good for you
Yeah.
too. I don't I ain't messing with that stuff no more. You know, and it's addictive, you know? It's very addictive food. And now they spray chlorine and bleach on that food before they put it together because of all the chemicals and all the germs and micro and everything else that they got to try to kill. They don't get them all either. There's an acceptable amount of bacteria that's allowed to get through uh, USDA standards.
It's funny how like the food really don't mold if it's old. Like you can find like old McDonald's fries on the bottom floor of your car, and that fry is still intact.
Right. For years. Matter of fact, I did. You know what? When Jake first moved here, I wanted to show him exactly that. So I took the cake, the glass cake. Uh, it's not a vase. You put the cake on, you put the lid on it, and it's all sealed through the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a cheeseburger and some fries and some chicken nuggets, and I put them in that glass. And after a year, we looked at it. There was no mold. It had not decayed, did not fall apart, nothing. But then I made my famous what they call Brontosaurus burgers, the little fat house burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I took some French fries and I cut them up and made them into fries and fried them. I ain't had no chicken nuggets, but I didn't need that. Within 3 or 4 days, the potatoes were falling apart. They were starting to mold, and the burger over there, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, the bread was molding.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 days later, but
Yeah.
yet you got this other burger. So just imagine that in your gut, that's not digesting in your gut for years.
I can't believe how much I survived off of that when I was literally working there. And yeah, I mean, I was in high school. I sophomore year of high school. Yeah, I was working there, and man, I was eating McDonald's every day.
Yeah. Look,
But
look. Well,
yeah.
when I found I got diabetes, I was eating double cheeseburgers every single day. Going to work, eating double cheeseburgers. I was eating. Matter of fact, I was eating McDonald's for. You know what? I was just like that dude. The that movie where the guy for 30 days was eating like McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
At the Super Size Me documentary or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Look, that happened to me for real when I was in Milwaukee, and I was eating, I was eating the steak, egg, and cheese bagels, and they used to have all this grease that used to drip off of it. You sit there and be like, "Oh my God, this is so good," because it tastes so good. But it's like a fucking drug. Fat is a drug too. People don't talk about that. So I've seen all these fatty, man. I go get that steak bagel, a hash brown, and a large coffee. That'd be breakfast. Then for lunch, I go there and get me like 3 double cheeseburgers and like 2 orders of fries and a Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go home and cook like a steak, egg, and well, I'm sorry, like steak and you know, I make a salad and steak or a chicken or something. And I would have a well balanced meal in the evening, but I was eating all this fat during the day. And then on top of it, drinking alcohol too, and all that. And I was smoking cigarettes back then too.
Yeah, man. Back in my McDonald's days, man. I think my metabolism literally kind of kept me afloat because if I was to have the same diet today,
Yeah,
Man, I would have low energy. I wouldn't feel like playing with my kids. I mean, I,
Right.
I would be a wreck right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, we kind of digress so much time from the actual topic, but just to kind of get back on course, as far as like some things that can be corrected to like avoid toxic relationships, the main thing for men is to kind of get their own spot. Um, I mean, if you want to deal with the woman seriously, to me, you should have like marriage in the purview. But just to be kind of like dating, just to be dating and having no end goal. I mean, that could be a recipe, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, we all know that women are emotional. They get like attached so easily. And, if you're going to be dating them for like long periods of time, then, y'all got to have a conversation on where that thing is going. But if it's not going to go anywhere, then it's going to be a likelihood of unplanned pregnancies. Two people are going to be raising kids in which they really didn't plan for. It's going to be animosity. It's going to be toxicity, and the kids is going to suffer. The man's going to be put through family court. The woman's going to try to use her kids as pawns. I mean, you know, very common occurrence today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was more common back, 25 years ago too. The problem with the issue back then was women were believed for a lot of their lives. They used to tell the police and tell people in court. I mean, I'm telling you, like just being in the military, I know a lot of women who used to tell me that they got pregnant just so they couldn't go on deployment. It was like a pawn for them. And men don't have that same luxury. If you get a girl pregnant, you still going on deployment. But women, no, no, you can't go nowhere. You get premarital care. You get count, especially military women. Hell, they got unlimited resources in the military when you're pregnant.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, like those arranged marriages in which you can kind of move out of the barracks, move it to base housing. You would get extra pay for the comrades or
It ain't worth it. It ain't
right,
worth it.
right. Of
It,
course,
it ain't. That's worse than welfare.
yeah. And if there's no base housing available, then you can kind of move off base and get that BAH,
Right.
the
It's
allowance for
like
housing.
which is like welfare.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even 20 years ago when I was in, it was those type of schemes that you kind of hear about. But yeah, man, I mean, I glad I had a foresight to like not even kind of like fall prey to that because hey, I mean, when you like an E1, E2, E3, E4, obviously like the pay is not that good, but I mean, yes, that's very enticing if you can kind of like find ways to like make extra money. I mean, yeah, a lot of people did it.
Mhm.
I'm glad I kind of stayed away from it. I mean, I pretty much kind of like I was very low maintenance. I mean, all I really wanted was some money to go to the club, and that's it. I didn't need money to have like flashy cars, flashy clothes. I mean, I was a very low maintenance guy back then. So I just wanted to go to the mall, go to the beach, go to the club. I mean, now this is Southern California, so I mean, I'm a Chicago kid that never really left the city like that. So as far as me going to California from 19 to 22, I'm sorry, 18 to 22 rather, man, I was loving life. I mean, you know, palm trees and good weather and beaches and beautiful women.
It's funny. When I joined the Navy, I was trying to go to San Diego. I wanted to get away from Chicago, but
Yeah.
I went to boot camp in January, and they claimed that they didn't have no money to fly me out to San Diego because they also had a corpsman school out there too. And they were like, "Man, you got to go to Great Lakes." And I'm like, "Man, I used to live right outside of Great Lakes when I was a kid. I don't want to go to Great Lakes. I want to get out of here."
So what's the boot camp out in San Diego at the time for
Yeah,
for the Navy?
yeah, they had a boot camp out there. Matter of fact, um, it was right across. It was matter of fact, it was on a fence line from the Marine Corps depot there.
Mm.
Matter of fact, they said that some guy had jumped the fence one time out of Navy boot camp and ended up in Marine Corps boot camp, and they kept him for a couple of days, and he said he was begging to get back over that damn gate.
Yeah, still to this day, I really don't know why I was really sent to San Diego because Chicago is east of the Mississippi, so I should have been sent to Paris Island, South Carolina. But
Right,
I mean, going to California, just to kind of experience something new, to like get outside of my domain from Chicago. Being in the inner city, and I never really went anywhere like that as far as even on family vacations and stuff. I mean, our family vacation was just a weekend in Wisconsin. So, but other than that, man, I mean, it was cool to just go to California, just say, hey, I'm in California, where you see Hollywood and all the nice weather and beautiful women. So,
right.
but yeah, I mean, I made the best of it though, man. I mean, it was like a second home, man. And yeah, I appreciate California for being that. But man, California today, man, with the whole energy and water and fires
Yeah, they got a lot of problems.
and that and that rabid super liberal agenda that's going on out there. I mean, oh man, they can have the stuff in California right now.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, these feminists, some of them just want to cut off all our balls and just put them in sperm banks. And they can select whatever they look at, but they better start checking them DNAs for all kind of different things, including if they might be your brother or sister you messing with, because it happens now.
You know what?
But
That could be.
that'll be our next subject we talk about. How about
Oh,
that?
oh yeah, yeah, most definitely, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, do you have any last words, man, for the actual topic, man? As far as what a man can do to kind of like protect themselves,
Yo,
what
men,
you talked about earlier.
listen up. If you are a hobosexual, meaning you are living with a woman because you're relying on her and she's treating you like a dog, then don't be mad if you start barking like a dog then. But you men need to start manning up, start going back to work because there's plenty of jobs out here. There's job signs everywhere right now. Get y'all lazy asses up, go get you a job, go get your place, go back to school, join the military, go travel, and then choose your lady after you mature as a man. Because I had to escape a prison from a couple women because they wanted to control me and just take the little small paycheck that I was willing to give them. But I got sick and tired of that. I didn't want to live like that. I wanted to shine. I didn't want to be a 9 to 5er.
Hmm.
But you can do that too. But go get your own place. And until you're ready to take care of a woman and take care of children, don't have either one. Take care of yourself and love yourself.
Yeah, man. Life is about trial and error, man. And you had been through some things. You learn from it. So it's good that you could kind of reflect and get some perspective on what guys can kind of do to kind of like avoid those pitfalls that you did, 20, 30 years ago. So, but yeah, man, good conversation, man. There was kind of like, kind of text me earlier that you wanted to talk about this. And, I figured that we just give it a go. And, but yeah, man, it's a good conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Again, man, congrats to the Atlanta Braves. Glad that they won it instead of those cheating Astros. And now,
He said cheating Astros.
yeah, man, cheating Astros, man. I mean, I'm just a very, very casual baseball fan. So the only time I really watch baseball is really in the playoffs. But for some reason, I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't watch it this year. But I'm kind of into the whole fantasy football thing, and I want the Bears to do well and once football's done, then I'll get into the NBA because the Bulls are actually doing pretty well right now. So and,
Okay.
and yeah, man, NBA season gonna be exciting. It's about a good 5 or 6 teams that can actually win a championship this year. So a little bit better parity, but we'll see. So we'll see. But yeah, man, Corner Store Podcast, y'all. This is Robert G. Bullhead having a conversation, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right. Later on, man.
All right, bro. Have a good one.